Every morning before sunrise, 14-year-old Chinedu heard whispers drifting from the old Iroko tree behind his family's hut. But these were not ordinary whispers. They spoke about things that had not happened yet. The voices whispered, "Do not let your mother cross the wooden bridge today." Chinedu ran to stop her. Hours later, the bridge collapsed into the river. Everyone was shocked. The villagers called Chinedu a miracle child. Some believed God had blessed him. Others feared something darker. That night, the whispers returned. Tomorrow, someone important will disappear forever. Chinedu couldn't sleep. At sunrise, the village chief vanished without leaving a single footprint. Only Chinedu knew the whispers had spoken the truth. An old blind woman finally spoke. Those voices are not ghosts. They are tomorrow itself. Silence filled the village. That night, the whispers became louder than ever. "Tomorrow, you will hear us for the last time." Chinedu slowly walked toward the tree. Then, everything went silent. When Chinedu touched the ancient Iroko tree, the world around him disappeared. There were no birds, no wind, no voices, only endless silence. Then, a glowing path appeared beneath his feet. The old man raised his hand. "The voices you hear are not spirits. They are the echoes of tomorrow. Only one person in every generation can hear them." Chinedu's heart began to race. "But every warning has a price," the old man continued. "For every life you save, someone else loses a piece of their future." Chinedu stood frozen. The old man waved his hand. Suddenly, Chinedu saw his mother crying beside an empty grave. On the grave was his own name. The whispers returned. "They are coming. Before the next full moon. They will burn the village." Fear gripped Chinedu. As dawn broke, a hooded stranger entered the village carrying an old wooden staff marked with strange carvings. He stopped beneath the Iroko tree and looked directly at Chinedu. Then he whispered, "I know what you hear." The villagers gathered around the hooded traveler. He slowly lowered his hood. "I am Namdi, the last person who heard tomorrow before you." A wave of silence swept across the village. Namdi looked into Chinedu's eyes. "I failed to stop the darkness many years ago. That is why it has returned." He handed Chinedu a small carved wooden whistle. "Never blow this unless the whispers become silent." That evening, goats refused to enter the forest. Birds suddenly stopped singing. From deep among the trees, a pair of glowing red eyes slowly opened. Before sunrise, 3 children had vanished. No screams, no footprints, only strange black feathers lay outside their homes. The whispers spoke only one sentence. "They have begun." The whispers led Chinedu and Namdi to a cave hidden behind a roaring waterfall. Inside, ancient paintings covered the walls. One painting showed Chinedu holding the whistle. Namdi's voice trembled. "The whistle does not call for help. It awakens the guardian. And once the guardian rises, no one can control it." Chinedu tightened his grip on the whistle as they stepped out of the cave. The whispers returned for one final warning. "Tonight, someone you love will betray you." Chinedu turned toward the village. In the distance, he saw his closest friend waiting, smiling. Chinedu walked slowly toward his closest friend, Obina. "Why are you smiling?" he asked. Obina's smile disappeared. "I've been looking for you all night," he whispered. "Someone has been following me." Before Chinedu could reply, the whispers returned. "Do not let him leave your sight." As they walked together, a black feather floated gently from the sky. It landed on Obina's shoulder. The moment Chinedu picked it up, It turned into black ash. Obinna froze. I've seen these feathers before. Obinna lowered his head. The night the chief disappeared, I saw someone near the Iroko tree. Chinedu leaned closer. It wasn't a man. It was a giant shadow with glowing eyes. The air suddenly became cold. Without warning, dark clouds covered the sky. The sun disappeared in the middle of the afternoon. Children ran home. Animals hid. Even the village drums fell silent. The whistle, hanging around Chinedu's neck, began to glow. A deep voice echoed through the wind. The darkness has crossed the boundary. The ground shook beneath their feet. From inside the ancient forest, something enormous began to move. Suddenly, Obinna stepped backward. I'm sorry, Chinedu. I never wanted this. From beneath his shirt, he pulled out an ancient stone marked with the same symbols found inside the cave. The whispers had been right. Someone close had betrayed him. The earth split open. A towering figure of light rose from beneath the roots of the Iroko tree. Its voice thundered across the village. One friend must be sacrificed, or the village will fall. Chinedu looked at Obinna, then at the terrified villagers. Tears filled his eyes. The towering guardian looked down at Chinedu and Obinna. Its glowing eyes burned like fire. I did not ask for a life, it thundered. I asked for the truth. The entire village fell silent. Obinna dropped to his knees. Tears streamed down his face. I never wanted to betray you. A strange man promised to heal my dying little sister if I gave him the sacred stone. The villagers gasped. Obinna had been deceived. A cold laugh echoed across the forest. From the darkness stepped a tall man, wrapped in black robes. His eyes glowed the same red as the shadow in the forest. I have finally found the Keeper of Tomorrow. He pointed directly at Chinedu. Blow the whistle now, or the darkness will consume everything. Chinedu remembered the warning. Once awakened, the guardian could never be controlled. He closed his eyes. Then, he blew the whistle. A blinding wave of light swept through the village. The dark stranger screamed as shadows dissolved around him. When the light faded, the guardian was gone. So were the whispers. For the first time in months, the village was silent. As everyone celebrated, Chinedu smiled. Then, he suddenly stopped. A tiny voice whispered inside his ear. Not from the tree, not from the wind, but from within his own heart. This was only the first tomorrow. Chinedu looked toward the distant mountains. Someone else had begun hearing tomorrow.